that hurts. All right, so trying to take advantage of a cool, clear, brisk morning today. Today it's this morning it's about 25 degrees Fahrenheit. So we've got a nice freeze on the ground, and that means we'll have less mud today. So the plan this morning is to take a quick hour or two and just re-inventory our log supply here. I've got a couple red oak up there for the mill, but I don't have anything for dimensional. And that's what we're doing a lot of right now. So I want to bring down some poplar, maybe a pine or two. We'll see what we've got. But really looking to take advantage of this frozen ground. I can skid logs without packing them full of mud and without tearing up a bunch of my road. I took the wood chipper off the tractor, and swing with me here, rotating to the box scraper. That's what I like to use, a box blade to drag logs with, to skid logs. So we switched to that. Just need to get the chainsaw gassed up and make sure I've got everything in place and hit the hill. That hurts. I don't know if you guys saw that. Took a branch right in the face. Is that my face red? Yeah. Not so much here or here so much, but about right here is where I took a branch in the face. It was because I was holding the camera in the hand that I would normally grab that branch. So we need to remember to stop on the way back and cut that branch off. But I'm in a spot here. I call the last dump. We've talked about it. We've documented out in the video. This is really the last big place to clean up here. But a lot of poplar growing in around here. A little bit of pine. So there's probably, I don't know, 8 nice poplar just in this area that I can fell just real close to the road and be able to draw them out with the tractor and the chain. So we're probably going to start right here with this guy. Just a little tiny maple against him we'll have to take out. And the plan would be to, we're going to see if we can drop him uphill maybe. I may eat those words. And then right here is another good one to take on as well. Alrighty, she lay exactly where I wanted her to. That's always good when that happens. Now, some of you give me some pretty good grief about the way I fell a tree, my plunge cut method. And it's not mine. I didn't come up with that method. That method's been tried and true for a very long time. That's how I was trained. My brother is who trained me, and he is a certified state tree felling instructor for the state. He teaches state employees, and that's how he was trained to do it. And I tell you, out of all the ways that I've learned, you know, notch, back cut, all that type of stuff, I like this. I've got the most control. Unless we've got a really crazy backling, I can pretty much put the tree wherever I want there. And as you see in this example, that tree, I put it uphill. Its natural tendency, of course, would be you want to go downhill, which would be the, not 180 degrees, but almost 180 degrees different angle than where it fell. So that plunge, you can see even my wedges are still there where I had them. That plunge allows me to stick the saw in here, and I come forward and I leave about a 1-inch hinge. Actually, it's relative based upon the diameter of the tree. Bigger diameter tree, bigger hinge. But this tree, about a 1-inch hinge left. So I line up my cut for that, then work my way back, and then just have this little bit of material that still holds the tree, drive my wedges in so it's going to go the direction I want, and then of course come back and release that. And you saw in the video there I had to just drive the wedges in a little bit further to go ahead and coerce it over. But so far so good. All right, go and get her chained up and drug out. I try to drag out as big a log as possible as my tractor will handle. And then when I get it down to the mill, that's where I size it accordingly. While I'm thinking of it, I wanted to mention that we've switched to a new camera setup, trying something a little different here. Comment below if you think the video quality is better, sharper, better perspective, that type of stuff, or if you like the old way better. We're just kind of testing around with different equipment and see what resonates with people. All right, well, let's drag this log out of the woods. Okay, so check this out. Got the log down, and it's still a little dirty, but compared to what I would normally run into this time of year, if it wasn't frozen, the ground wasn't frozen, this would have been an absolute mess. This thing would have just been caked in mud. So this isn't a huge deal. Turned out pretty good. And we've got one dog leg here. On the end of it so you can see that, if you didn't see it already. But there's a, you've got to come out from the side here. So you can see there was a limb there, so there's just a bit of a knuckle. So we'll cut that out because there's still a decent log here to that point, so we'll cut it and then cut another section out and then have the rest. So let's see how long she turned out to be. So she turned out to be 30 feet long to that knuckle, and then another 11 feet in this log that I'm sitting on. So that is, that's 4 millable logs easily if I'm doing 10 feet. Obviously if I'm doing 8 feet, then you can do the math. So that's pretty good yield. That's gonna be pretty good yield from one log. And yes, if you're wondering why I'm using a regular tape, my good logging tape is up in my truck, so I forgot to bring it down. But we won't tell Kelly because she thinks that buying a $70 logging tape wasn't necessarily the most logical thing to do. But I try to use it as much as possible if I forgot to grab it. All right, so it is January, and in January I promised that we would do a drawing to give away our bottles. And we're going to do 2 different drawings because I got 2 different bottles, and these are great little fuel bottles. You can see I've got it clipped on my tractor here on my saw haul to be able to have fuel when I'm in the woods and not have to take a large can. I got 2 of these. We're going to do drawings on them. These actually came from Big Tool Rack. They sent me extra ones for me to give away to you guys. So I'm going to put some links down below to Big Tool Rack and then a separate company, Saw Haul. I like the good marriage of the 2. But to be eligible for the drawing, of course, we said be on our email newsletter list, which you can, if you want to sign up, you can do so down in the video description. But that's where we're going to draw the name from. And winner number 1 today is posted here below. So congratulations. So we'll send an email out to you to get your mailing address. And hopefully if you respond within 2 weeks, we'll send that out. If not, then obviously we'll draw somebody else. In a couple weeks, we'll draw for the other one. And you may be noticing that I only have 1 right now. It's just the way things go, right? So a couple months ago when we were helping the haulers, I had both of these, one filled with oil, one filled with gas. Well, I took the oil one and tossed it in my tote where my chainsaw was sitting, and the teeth, the log grabber on the bar on the chainsaw just happened to be sticking up, and I tossed it in there, and I didn't think anything of it. It had a real weird thump sound, and oh, okay, whatever, and go on. And well, I had this thing, I've had the oil clipped on this for a couple weeks. And we were doing some, when we were doing some work up at the boar pasture, I moved the tractor and noticed this huge oil slick on the ground. I'm like, oh no, my tractor's dumping oil like crazy. Is it hydraulic fluid? Is it motor oil? And so I'm checking it all out. I don't see any leaks on the tractor. I'm like, man, that's crazy. How did all that come from? What had happened is when I tossed one of these, when I tossed my oil canister in my tote 2 months ago, it must have hit specifically on the edge of that tooth and put a tiny pinhole in the very bottom of it. So it wasn't anything that all came gushing out. It's just over time it's been dripping. So maybe I'll be lucky and win the second drawing. We'll see how it goes. Well, the plan was to head back into the woods and get another log, but we just got notified that my grandmother passed away. So I'm going to wrap it up and head in and see what arrangements and all those things need to be made. And yeah, it's just something I want to include this in the video just to honor her. She was a really cool lady and 96 years old and was actually doing pretty well. She was very feeble, but she fell. She was living at home by herself. She was that functioning that she could stay by herself at home. My parents lived just around the turn in the area where I grew up. so they were always there to keep watch for her. But she fell and broke her foot, fractured her vertebrae. In a care facility for rehab, she contracted COVID and unfortunately did not survive. She actually declined any treatment for COVID. She was ready to move on and get to see Grandpa and get to see her Savior. So that was my last grandparent, and she was a very neat lady. What's really cool though is, with the passing of a loved one, when you look at the different ways, illness is tough on that individual, but at least allows the family time to say goodbye. So what was really cool is the other night, Kelly and the boys and I got to give her a call in the nursing facility, and I got to pray with her. I got to read some of her favorite scripture, share that with her, because her vision had gotten so bad at that point. And Liam got to play her a song on the piano she gave us after my grandfather had passed away, her husband. He had loved that piano. He played it constantly. So we have that, and Liam played her a song, and so she really appreciated that, and we all got to say goodbye. So I strongly believe she's in a much better place. I strongly believe that I will get to see her again. I believe that with all my heart. And I pray you all have that confidence as well. Well, I hate to end on a sad note, but a positive takeaway is that she's now at peace. And just an encouragement to you all, just love on your family. Take the time to spend time with your parents, your grandparents, if you're still blessed to have them. Spend time with your kids, family, whatever family you got, friends. Just cherish those moments. All right, take care, everybody.